What's going on, guys? My name is Dan. Welcome back to the channel, and today's video is all about supercar insurance, and specifically what does it cost to insure a Lamborghini. Now, if you guys have been following me, you'll know that I'm on my fourth Lamborghini. The first one was the white Huracan, the second was the matte black Aventador Roadster, my third is the Aventador SV, which is right here, and the fourth one right here, the Huracan Performante. Now, why am I doing this video? This has probably got to be the second most common question that I get following what do I do for a living? How much does insurance cost on these cars? And to even go a little bit of a step further for you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer a lot of questions that you guys have asked about insurance just in general. But I'm going to do it in a little bit of a different way. What I'm going to do for you guys is I am going to take a trip over to my insurance broker who insures these cars for me so that you guys can hear everything from him instead of me trying to break it down. You'll hear from an actual insurance broker who insures these cars. So let's take a drive over. Okay guys, before we head out, I have to do this. I can't not do this. I'm not driving the SV, but I mean, I gotta do this. I'm gonna tell you guys something right now. There's nothing better than a decatted, straight piped titanium exhaust on a V12. Good luck finding something that sounds better than that. Stupid fast, this car, stupid. All right guys, we are pulling up right now. Okay guys, what's going on? We are here with Kyle McDonald. He does all of my car insurance and he does all of my business insurance, real estate, all that type of stuff. So we are going to get right into it. A lot of people, this is probably the second most common question that I get asked, the first being, what do I do when I roll up in a car like this? The second question is, how much does insurance cost on a car like this? So I put up a little poll on my YouTube community page the other day. Nobody got it right. Nobody guessed which car was the cheapest. Nobody guessed which car was the most expensive, because it's actually a little bit confusing even to me why the four cars that I've owned vary so much in price. What I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna post all of Kyle's information down below. If you guys need any insurance for anything, you need to call this guy. He will work out great deals for you. He is amazing. He goes above and beyond for people as well. I've never had better customer service from anybody that I've ever dealt with. Now, getting into the cars. My first car, the 2017 Huracan. That car came in at a premium of $2,689. The second car that I owned, the Aventador Roadster, came in at $2,232. So a difference of more than $400. The Aventador Roadster was cheaper than the Huracan. The second car that I owned, the Aventador SV, which a lot of people thought that's going to be the most expensive by far, came in at $3,431. The latest car that I owned, the brand new Huracan Performante, came in at $4,155. So the Huracan Performante, the yellow one, actually came in, you know, I don't even know what's that difference of, like almost like $600 more.
The last one you mean?
Yeah. I mean, that to me is pretty shocking. I know it's newer, but the values of the SV and the values of the Performante vary like tremendously. So for me, and clearly everybody else that guessed, they guessed by far the
one with the most value.
Yeah, the one with the most value would be the one that would cost the most in insurance, which I would have guessed as well. But that is far from the case. So I'm going to get into a couple questions that you guys actually asked. Now, maybe the most obvious question for you would be, okay, well, the Performante is going to be more expensive because it's yellow. So that's one of the questions that we got. We got a question of, does the color of a car matter? For example, is a yellow car or a red car more expensive to insure than a black or white car? Yeah. So I'm gonna let Kyle, so I'm not even gonna like look this up. You're gonna hear it from an actual insurance broker of, does the color of the car matter? So take it away, Kyle.
The short answer is absolutely not.
Okay.
We're not even aware. Usually when we get a vehicle, all we need is the VIN. The VIN doesn't tell us the color. It doesn't tell us anything like that. It's kind of an old wives' tale. It's there's no fact to that whatsoever.
Okay. The second probably question that I would have is, according to the cost of my cars, why is it that the most expensive car on this list of the 4 that I've owned, why is it not the most expensive to insure?
Well, again, it's a misconception that insurance rates are based on the value of a vehicle. It is a factor, but there are 4 main factors that every insurance in Ontario is built on. And one of the main ones that causes rates to fluctuate is called accident benefits. Not to bore everybody to tears, but accident benefits are, if you're injured in an automobile accident, that's what takes care of you. A lot of people assume it's OHIP. It's absolutely not. It's built into your insurance policy. You can't opt out of it. It's something that's built in no matter what. So from a cost perspective, when we're talking about claims, if someone goes through a windshield of a vehicle and needs to be taken care of for the next 20 years, that's the gigantic payouts. If they have to replace a vehicle, those vehicles are high end, but the medical bills for physiotherapy, someone to come in and clean your house, etc., replacing your income, that's where the gigantic payouts come.
I gotcha. So what you're saying is, even though the SV is much more money than the Performante,
correct,
you guys as brokers or whatever kind of database that you guys have, you've seen more accidents with essentially the Performante than you have with the SV. Is that what you can kind of correlate these 2 numbers to?
It's not necessarily more accidents, but again, for instance, if vehicle A is in 10 accidents and they're all write-offs, the vehicle is completely destroyed, injuries, etc., that vehicle, even though it's maybe been in less accidents, is going to be worse rated. Because the percentage of time that people are either seriously injured or the vehicle is absolutely destroyed is higher.
I see.
And it's geared that way.
I see.
And that's every insurance company in all of Ontario. They all operate the same way.
Interesting. Okay, let's get into another viewer question. Why are women typically less to insure? This is a very thing. Now I've heard this like multiple times, that women are cheaper to insure.
Absolutely.
I kind of have a couple ideas why that would be the case, but again,
it goes back to those big payouts. Men are far more likely to drink and drive. Men are far more likely to speed. And from a fender bender perspective, we're kind of equal to sexes. But the big accidents involving high speed, death, there's a huge correlation of males over females.
Wow. Okay. What is the best thing a driver younger than 25 can do to reduce insurance on a sports car? So if somebody that's younger than 25, they want to go and buy a sports car, what can that guy do to get it cheaper?
Stay at home. The reason why, and obviously if you're buying a sports car, maybe you're not living at home still, but any young driver, their best case scenario is to go with the company that their parents are with. Mainly because they will get a discount from, assuming that the home is with the same company, they'll get a discount that way. They'll also get a multi-vehicle discount. So usually companies are about 25% ahead of anybody who's just going to try to write it a one-off. There's a fluctuation with companies. Certain companies are a lot more lenient with young drivers and give them better rates. And there's other companies that say absolutely not. So it varies from company to company, but the easy answer is try to get the discounts from your parents.
So do you have to live with your parents in order to get that discount?
Yeah, well, you get the same address.
Okay, there you go. Okay. This is kind of a weird question. I don't know why this person asked this question, but we're going to ask it anyways.
Bring it on.
How long can an insurance company legally investigate a claim before it's paid out?
Well, so there's not a real process. There's no, how do I put this? Essentially a year. That's the easy answer.
Okay.
In terms of an investigation, I mean, if there's something suspicious, usually companies want to handle that immediately. They'll do their interviews. It usually is not a long process if they think something's fishy.
Okay.
But basically, how it's worded is that everything should be handled, submitted, paid out within a year.
Okay, gotcha. What's the youngest age an insurance company will insure a supercar to?
If you got a valid license in Ontario, doesn't matter. You could be technically, I guess you could be 16. That's really so you can get your G2.
Yeah.
You took driver's training. If you got a valid driver's license in the car, they'll take your money.
There you go. There you go. All right. Why is it so expensive for a supercar versus a regular car? I mean, I'm sure this is actually a common question that I get asked, but I mean, there seems to be pretty obvious answers to this question, but maybe not. I don't know.
The logic behind it, how they create rates, is every vehicle in North America, so United States and Canada, when it's in an accident, goes into a database, and every vehicle is rated by all those accidents and what the payouts are, what happens. So that's how rates are created. Why are they more expensive? Again, there's all those categories.
Yeah.
The payouts are bigger, generally speaking, because again, these are high performance vehicles.
Yeah.
So if guys are flying down the 401, and chances are the vehicle's going to be a write-off, and you're going to have to probably some payouts for, like I said, anything related to physiotherapy, anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the biggest
Yeah,
thing, right?
I mean, value of the vehicle, payouts, it's all built in.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
And horsepower.
Does that matter too?
Horsepower.
So how horsepower ratings on cars matter?
Yeah, horsepower over mass, weight of the vehicle.
Get out, eh?
So that's
interesting. That's actually a very interesting thing to know.
Right.
So actual horsepower. So horsepower and weight to horsepower ratio. Is that what you're saying?
Horsepower to mass, weight of the vehicle.
Oh wow. Okay. I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's interesting. So the power to weight ratio matters for insurance
Because at the end
companies.
of the day, that vehicle is going to go at an exceptional speed compared to a Ford Taurus. Right?
Okay.
So hence the end result damage can be far greater.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So if you have a Mustang, like Tommy here, if you have a Mustang and I go to you and I say, hey, I got this 5-liter Mustang, no mods. Okay. A week later, I throw a Whipple supercharger on it. I've got, I bump the horsepower up double. Mm-hmm. Is that going to be a factor if I get into an accident with that car and I don't tell you that it has extra horsepower?
Absolutely.
So what would happen in a situation where if I mod the car, don't tell the insurance company about it, what would happen to my claim?
It's called a material change in risk.
Okay.
So basically, in your application for any auto application, it says in there you have to notify your insurance company if you make any modifications whatsoever, customizations. Even a lot of people don't even know this, but even raising your vehicle,
really,
that's supposed to be reported. Now, if it's a significant enough change, they can say it's a material change in risk. You didn't notify us, and your policy can be void.
Get out, eh? If you guys mod your cars. That's a big one. What about exhaust? I got an aftermarket exhaust.
Something like that's not gonna void your coverage.
Okay,
but again, if you're changing horsepower and stuff, like that,
I gotcha. Might bump the horsepower up a little bit, but nothing to really change anything. That's a big one. I didn't know that. I had no idea about that.
There's no sense in paying for something you can't use when you need it. So.
Okay, all right. Let the insurance companies know, guys, you're modding your cars. Even height too. You lift your car. You lift your truck or anything? Really, eh? Wow, okay, interesting, very interesting. Okay guys, now pertaining to wouldn't the SV be more expensive to insure than the Performante, Kyle made an interesting point, so Kyle, go ahead.
Well, back to, like I said, all these factors that go into all these accidents into this database. Generally speaking, when any insurance company doesn't have enough data on a certain thing, so that's why first-time drivers, first-time home buyers, they tend to jack up the rates until they know how to rate something.
Okay.
So in your case with the 2018, I'm convinced that it's the highest right now because they just don't have a whole lot of data on it.
I see.
Because there's not a lot of these driving around.
I see.
And A and B, there's not a whole lot of these hence getting in accidents.
I see.
So if they don't have data on anything, again, that's why for a young driver or first-time home buyer, the reason why rates are so high for a first-time home buyer is because they don't know how to rate you as a person.
And that doesn't matter that Performantes have been around for even a couple years. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that I bought a new car.
They need data on that model and that year.
I see. So there's just not enough laying around. So that's why, you know, like with my SV, because it's a couple years older, there's enough data to go around saying
they can start making educated decisions on how they're going to rate a vehicle.
I see. Okay.
So without data, they tend to
jack it up. Yeah. There you go. What are the cheapest cars to insure?
When you think about cheapest cars, think of the best way I put it, especially for young drivers, young guys who are just starting off and their rates are obnoxious.
Yeah.
I always tell them, what kind of vehicle would you want to be in if you were in a head-on collision?
Okay.
And consistently, trucks are notoriously the cheapest things on the road.
Really?
Minivans are as well. The minivan technically tends to go the demographic that's driving them. I think drives it a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, like I said, the easiest way to think about it is if you were in an accident, what kind of car would you want to be in?
Okay. All right.
That's why a vehicle like a Sunfire.
Yeah.
Used to be that they were notoriously cheap, and so young drivers would buy them, but they were awfully rated vehicles.
Because notoriously they were getting into accidents and it would bump the rating of the larger occurrence of accidents. So it would
Well, the payouts were just bigger because the vehicle would be destroyed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're more likely to get hurt in a Sunfire than you are in a truck in an F-150. I got you. Okay. Cool.
If you were if you had to pick between a Sunfire and an F-150 and be a head-on collision, which vehicle would you rather be in?
Yeah, I'm going with the truck. Yeah. Okay. How far back can an insurance company check your driving record?
Well, there's two different elements of what we check. One is called an MVR, and that's for tickets. Okay. Tickets evaporate after 3 years, no matter what. They actually are just dusted clean from your record altogether. Okay. That includes DUI, any ticket.
Yeah.
The second portion is called your Auto Plus. Your Auto Plus is your policies, every policy you've ever been listed on in your lifetime. Okay. So technically, they can look back forever, but they can only rate you X amount of years.
Okay.
Every company is a little bit different. A gigantic company like Intact or Viva, they rate on what's called a 9-star. Okay. So they go back 9 years, and if you've had a clean record, you're a 9-star driver.
Yeah.
Other companies have 6s, others do 13. Okay. It really depends on the company.
What am I?
Oh,
I'm a 9.
You're a 9.
I'm a 9, right?
You're a 9.
Before that, I wasn't very much a 9, but I am a 9 now.
You've built yourself up to a 9.
I have. I don't have much of a choice. These cars are expensive. Okay, another question. This is actually a question for me that I want to ask you. Okay. Does whatever we covered today also translate into the States?
No. There's...
Okay, so they have completely different
set of everything.
Yeah. Like, do the basics differ? Like, does car color actually matter down there?
I can't imagine that's a factor.
Yeah.
But, I guess that myth came from somewhere. So
yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe where it comes from is that sports cars tend to be vibrant colors. Yeah. So sports cars tend to be higher in insurance. So when you have a car that's higher in insurance, it would make sense it would be a sports car because of the color and you know what I mean. So then maybe that myth came from there. So Kyle's got another myth that you guys may want to know about.
It drives us in the insurance world crazy. Okay. If you get pulled over and the police officer tells you that they did you a favor because they didn't get you any points, that is absolutely irrelevant.
So what does that mean?
So the cop will often come back, hand you the ticket, and say, "Hey, I didn't get you any points." It doesn't matter. In the insurance world, the ticket is a ticket is a ticket. It doesn't matter if it's a seatbelt, speeding. If it's a minor conviction. Points only come into play when you have so many demerit points that you lose your license.
Oh, okay.
So they're not really doing anything.
Okay, so when you add points to your record or whatever, the insurance company doesn't care.
No, it doesn't. The demerit points don't matter because they're just looking at the tickets.
They're actually looking at the tickets.
And I mean, if you get enough demerit points, you're gonna lose your license, which is not good either. But that's the only time it ever comes into play.
Okay, interesting. All right, guys. Those are pretty much the top questions. We did get some weird ones, but we're not going to go through those. But this is, again, if you guys need insurance, if you're in do you do any insurance like outside of Windsor area? Yep. Okay. How far do you go?
License all the way through Ontario.
All the way through Ontario. Anybody in Ontario, you guys need to call Kyle. He's great to deal with. He's super easy, and like I said, he goes above and beyond for everybody that I know, especially for me. Before I get a ton of questions asking why do I still have one of these in my car, where I keep the cars, I keep them in my warehouse. It's a 55,000 square foot warehouse, and the tenant where I store these cars now, it's actually in the back of the building. So I have about, maybe, I can't remember exactly how big it is, maybe 6,000 to 8,000 square feet in the back that was actually separated into another unit. And there was a construction company that was one of my tenants. Well, they had just recently left. That's where I keep the cars now, and I haven't had any time to clean the floor. So instead of getting the interior of my car or the floor mats dirty like crazy from the dusty floor in there, I put that in there. Just got back from Kyle's. We're in the warehouse where I keep the cars, and I really hope you guys learned something from today's video. I know insurance can kind of be a little bit of a dry topic, but it is an important one nonetheless, especially when you're insuring cars like this. And also, you know, I even learned some stuff from today's meeting. Like I said, guys, I hope you guys learned something from today's video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.